watching this Kari Lake, Katie Hobbs, Arizona governor's race with curiosity. In a country full of Republican candidates refusing to debate because they have no plans to fix anything and they're running on unpopular policies like national abortion bans and getting rid of Social Security, they understand that if they get up on a debate stage, their Democratic opponent is just going to smoke them, Tim Ryan style, on the issues. So they avoid debating and they keep banging on the culture wars and crime and inflation and hoping people will just vote for the letter beside the name without actually looking into what they stand for. So when Democrat Katie Hobbs chose not to debate her opponent, MAGA darling Kari Lake, I was disappointed. I was like, what's she doing? Kari Lake calls Katie Hobbs a radical every chance she gets because it's buzzy and the base loves it. But there are few candidates in the country more radical than Lake herself. Lake's candidacy took off when she quit, or was asked to leave, her job of 22 years as a local anchor of a Fox-affiliated station and became this outspoken promoter of election conspiracies. Lake now pushes the proven lie that the 2020 election was stolen every single chance she gets. She's vehemently anti-trans. As governor, she's promised to have a carbon copy of Texas's abortion ban that includes no exceptions for rape and incest, jails doctors, criminalizes women, and allows pregnant people to die from treatable medical complications. She wants to continue to build the wall and militarize the border. She plans to pass a law that will make it illegal to censor conservatives no matter what they say. She's refused to commit to accepting the results of the election and has refused to denounce the continual death threats on her opponent, Katie Hobbs, or the armed vigilantism at drop boxes around the state. Lake hits every MAGA talking point, and she hits them perfectly. The election was stolen. I refuse to concede. Lock my opponent up. She revels in cruelty and lack of decency, as we just witnessed with her rally joke about Paul Pelosi. But where she stands on issues that the governor of Arizona would actually have to deal with, like housing costs, water shortages, heat waves, wildfires, underfunded schools, she seems to have absolutely no plans. So I was thinking, why wouldn't Katie Hobbs, with pertinent government experience and actual plans to help Arizona, the person who has been standing up to bullies and extremists for the past 2 years as Arizona's Secretary of State, the one who made sure every single ballot was counted despite the endless threats on her life and her children's lives and being stalked at her home and robbed at her office, despite being continually harassed by Lake and her team, why wouldn't she want to get up on stage and show Kari Lake to be the cruel and empty shell she is? And then I thought of gremlins. Remember gremlins? You can't feed them after dark. No matter how much they want it, you can't give in to them because that's how they win. It doesn't matter what you want, you lose if you give in to their needs. Kari Lake is like that gremlin. She needs the stage. You put a microphone in front of her and she wins. Lack of scruples and a moral compass in combination with her vast media training is a devastating combination. Katie wouldn't be debating her. She'd be giving her exactly the validation she craves. Just like Hillary wasn't debating Donald, just giving him the appearance of authenticity by standing on the stage with him. Do you remember those debates? They weren't debates. It had nothing to do with who was more qualified or prepared, who knew the issues better or was smarter or more fit for the job. People have made the analogy that arguing with someone like Trump is like playing chess with a pigeon. The pigeon knocks over all the pieces and poops on the board and then struts around like they won. Hillary was out there trying to play chess. But ordinary people didn't want to watch chess. They wanted a new game, and Trump was giving it to them. Well, so is Kari Lake. People say DeSantis is Trump's heir apparent, but they are wrong. It's her. You can ask Kari anything, and she will stick the landing. It could be straight up lies or like cuckoo bananas insanity, but people will believe her. Kari is the future of MAGA. She represents everything our country should have learned and moved on from by now. There's no question that Kari Lake is a hell of a candidate. The question is, does Arizona want a candidate or do they want a governor? Do they want the shiny salesperson or the person that can do the job? Because at the end of the day, you're looking at the difference between the girl who did all her homework, is totally prepared, heading to class under the radar, and the beautiful head cheerleader who pushes her down the stairs for fun. And then she says, what? She tripped. This election is the difference between your vote counting and your vote ceasing to count. It's the difference between someone with zero government experience, who spent 22 years reading somebody else's words, and the one who built a career working with homeless youth and running shelters for domestic abuse, who was a state legislature and an elected state senator and finally Secretary of State. This election isn't about a debate. Kari is calling Katie a coward for staying away. But Katie's not a coward. She is brave as hell. She spent 2 years under the constant threat of death and violence, continuing to not only do her job, but run for a job that could help even more people. She's not weak. She's clever. I think debate is essential in American politics. But in this case, she's simply refusing to feed the gremlin and avoiding the stairs. At the end of the day, one of these two women will run Arizona. And you have to decide if you want the violent extremist courting chaos or the serious, boring one looking to lead. Arizona is being offered two completely different futures. Don't pick your future on the packaging.